Welcome back to the ECD Live, everybody out there. I'm happy to see you again, or to see you for the very first time for this edition on the ECD Live channel. And I come this week again with another premiere. I mean, we have premieres every week right now. It's the first edition of the ECD Live Talk, of whom I am the host. And I could not have a better guest to start off with than the one and only Tobias Schlotter from Akeneo. So, welcome, Toby. Come in.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thanks for having me in your great new format.
Oh, thanks. I heard you laughing while I was speaking, so it was. You're humbled, right?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's an honor for me to be here with you. Thanks.
Because I really meant it, because Tobias is not really one of the really nicest people I met in the whole e-commerce industry and network. It's also, he's here for Akeneo, who are the exclusive sponsor of the ECD Live format. And I mean, it's really great that you believe in this format and that you are here with us. And so today, let's talk about the things you do, or the things you think about the whole business we are in together. But first of all, before we start off with the topics, maybe you introduce yourself and Akeneo as the company you're working for. Curtain call. Let's go.
Okay, thanks. Keep it short. Thanks, Alex. So I'm Tobias. I'm the general manager of Akeneo, responsible for Central and Eastern Europe. I'm with Akeneo now since nearly 5 years in total, and Akeneo itself is a global leader in product experience management solutions. We offer the most used PIM system, product information management system in the world. We are open source. Our DNA lays in the e-commerce. And we are helping companies to grow all over the planet. And in Germany, you could name such companies like Snipes, Liquimoly, Fahrrad.de, such.
Wow. Well, thank you. I have to switch the English pronunciation of Akeneo. It's Akeneo. And if you say Akeneo, I will do that too, okay?
No worries, Alex. We are kind of a family, so I don't really feel offended by any pronunciation.
Okay, great. The second thing I would like to introduce, because it's the first time we have this format, right? And as you might have seen last week, when Matthias spoke to Felix, we came up with some, basic pillars of the format, and we have thought about some own pillars for the ECD Live Talk. One of them will be the pocket check, where I'm going to ask Toby what he purchased offline or online. The last thing he purchased. And the other thing we're going to do is called Speed Lane. And this is really funny, because I'm going to present like word pairs to you, and you should not think about it. Just answer from the belly. I mean, and you don't even know what I'm going to ask you. So that's a funny thing. And quite at the end of our interview, we're going to do a thing is called Pick a Hero, because I want to stick to that network DNA we have at the ECD and kind of bring people in that you or the other interviewers think, hey, they are worth talking to, and I would love to join in next time if I read this name on the list. So let's do this in the end. So I want to start off maybe with the pocket check, because I'm really, really curious what you last bought offline, Toby.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's becoming a bit geeky, I'm afraid, because the last thing that I bought offline was a bracelet for my new Apple Watch, the blue one. I'm even wearing it, so a bit geeky. I'm an Apple fan.
Okay, but is it not geeky? I mean, the interesting thing is that you bought it offline, I think.
Yeah, that's true, because it was that's combined with the last bigger purchase I did online,
Okay.
which was both the new iPhone and the new Apple Watch. But I ordered the wrong size of the single. It's really stupid. But you asked for it, so.
So I can imagine you get your package with the iPhone and the Apple Watch, and you open it and say, "Oh damn, let's go into the store and."
Exactly,
Okay.
and here comes the offline benefit. You can try and you can feel it. Yeah, that's still something we're not achieved yet in the digital world.
Yeah, I mean that's a part we can talk about for hours. Just about this, how can you, transform this idea of feeling, touching, I don't know, into the online world? I mean, there still are things we're miles away from. I think something like this.
True.
Right? So coming back to you and Akeneo, when I first heard about a PIM system a couple of years ago, I think to me it seemed to be nothing more than, let me call it what it is, endless Excel sheets, and with kind of limited attributes. Limited because, I mean, it's Excel sheet is endless, but you cannot endlessly kind of read it or use it. And I guess that perception changed a bit. But am I right or am I wrong in the first place already?
I would say you're right and wrong. You're right that it has been changed, that it changed in the meantime. But still, there are companies that underestimate the impact and the importance of data in general, but specifically product data in today's experience economy we're living in. I mean, just also to look back to this, feeling, how is something feeling, tasting, smelling, whatever. So we are in an experience economy in general. There was a recent research from IBI research from the University of Regensburg that showed that even though high quality product data is crucial for commerce, it's almost systematically underestimated. And historically, to your first part, it's true. PIM has been considered more of a technical solution, like a database, like a big spreadsheet. But today we have to consider it more and more as a business solution with some technical requirements, of course, but needed for fundamentally differentiating the modern approach of the topic of PIM or PXM, like we call it. That's been said, I think a modern PIM system should so much more than just an Excel spreadsheet.
I mean, let's stick to this a bit, because I find it so interesting that you mentioned this research from the university. And I mean, how could it be, in your opinion, that this whole data pool topic is still underestimated? I mean, just looking at something like Amazon, like talking for decades now about how important just the data is, building whole business models on data. Everybody must know that by now. So is it that thing, okay, they really don't know it? Or is it that I know it, but I don't know how to make it happen, or how to change it, or something like that? What's your opinion about that?
I think, Alex, it's the second. And we're both, I guess, in the same world there and facing the same challenges. Both our customers are facing the same challenges. I think everybody understood somehow that data is the new gold. You need to leverage in your company. And we have not only product data, there's also customer data and business data in many ways. But product data in specific, like when you talk about marketplaces, Amazon and Zalando and Co., I think it's the fast-moving and fast-changing world that brings the challenge, and then the underestimated a value of not even just bringing together data, raw data, like comparable measurements and stuff, but really creating a brand and product experience with the help of data, which is a challenge in itself. But that's the main topic, I think, behind it.
Yeah, I think we come back to that later, because this is something Akeneo is very well known for, being kind of a pioneer in that area. I was thinking so much about the data thing, because I heard a podcast recently talking about the impact of data on these Amazon, and you talked about it, you named it, the big ones, and how it not only changes the way using data for product and storytelling and stuff like that, but also for your kind of employee possibilities. Like, if the data is good and you have some artificial intelligence working with it, there is free space for you to work on something else. I mean, that must be really attractive to absolutely wanting to have that.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah, and I mean that's our both of our companies' main target, to help our clients to get rid of certain tasks that can be done with much ease and with the help of the right technology, isn't it? So that people studied people. I mean, honestly, Alex, when I'm sitting at some companies together with people from companies, and I listen to their product marketers, which are educated, studied, mastered people, and they're explaining me that a part of their daily business, their daily job, so from their 8 to 10 to 12 hours, they're working like 4 or 5 of them. So a substantial part of it they're spending with copy and pasting and for comparing Excel spreadsheets and merging them and sending them around. I mean, that's not good. That's not getting the best value out of it. And so I think technology is the foundation to solve that problem.
Yeah, and you, in your role in Akeneo, has a big contribution to that. And as you said, I read about that you are the world's leading PIM suppliers. I mean, you can just confirm if that's true. And you said it's maybe the most used PIM right now at the moment. So there must be something about it. I mean, that makes the difference, right? So what makes your product, or the value you sell, and the product and the technology, like one of a kind or so special?
I think what we do have is we have the strongest and biggest ecosystem on the market. I think it's all bringing together the best-in-class resources, the best-in-class technologies, the best-in-class people. Akeneo has a lot of fans and friends, like Tradebyte is a big friend of us, and we are open source, which is also where our PIM for all claim comes from, by the way. Mm-hmm. But being open source enables businesses to have access to a flexible and scalable platform to unlock growth through product experiences. So as mentioned, we consider ourselves as a solution for business users. We are committed to building a user-friendly solution, which all our customers appreciate, to make the life of those product marketers, for example, much easier.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that sounds like everything you need, and it sounds so perfect. Let us go a bit deeper into that, because you talk a lot about storytelling and kind of leveraging your product experience for yourself as a company working with Akeneo, or if you play out the results and have a better experience for the consumers as well. So what is the contribution of a smart PIM system like yours obviously is to kind of a sales pipeline or even a whole product sales marketing circle within the company? And how can I really be a better company using your solution?
That's a tough one, Alex. I think, yeah, because this is a long recipe that leads to this solution, and the technology is just a tool. It's just like a hammer, but you not necessarily need a hammer. You need the craftsman that knows how to work with this hammer. So, and we just provide the hammer and the idea how to use it. So one secret ingredient is to enable businesses to create better experiences via contextualization. In our today's omni-channel environment, we need to. It's a challenge for every company, no matter if B2B or B2C, to deliver a seamless storytelling around their services and products around every touch point. We have all those offline touch points. We have all those digital touch points, marketplaces, their own e-commerce shop, retailers, whatever. And I think a smart PIM system needs to enable the company to scale and adapt to new channels you need to open. Now we have this social commerce raising up and becoming more and more interesting for a lot of companies. So you need to scale and adapt inside the software within several mouse clicks. So let's say to add new languages or attributes just in seconds, to manage even complex product structures, but with ease, not to make it not to make it too complicated, and support the editors with even AI-powered technology, such we have, for example, in Akeneo, the data quality insights, which gives the editors direct feedback if what they are writing is following the brand identity and so on. So our mission is really to help businesses to become product experience champions. And to do that, we develop a variety of tools that help. And maybe this.
To put it, for me, I try to put it in a metaphorical layer, like transferring the data and with help of the technology you have into a language everybody understands within the company and can work with it. I mean, maybe that's something to come up with, because in let me call it the early days. I mean, 10 years back is the early days maybe of digital retail or so. The data was for the tech people. And they did stuff I don't understand, but I need to understand as marketing, communication people, as well as salespeople, like what this is and what can I do with it. I need to kind of create a strategy for my own team that connects with the others. So is that language metaphor something, or is it too simple, or what do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree. I have a picture. If I want to draw a picture of it, it's a picture of three adventures that companies need to tackle today. And the first one is a very easy one that companies all over the world have been able to tackle since decades. It's the technical data. So the technical information about my products and services, which is pretty easy. And we have ERP systems for that, or even spreadsheets where we easily can handle them. And also for data sheets, it's no really a struggle. But then we have a second adventure, and this second adventure is the usage information of a product. Like if you're looking and compare toothpaste, just an easy example everybody can hopefully think of. So on the market, I guess there are thousands of different toothpaste. So as a manufacturer of toothpaste, how can you diversify amongst your competition? How can you create a product experience, and how can you stand up? And why should a customer buy yours? And this is where the usage information comes in. To bleach your teeth, or if you're a smoker, it helps you, or whatever. And then there is the third challenge and adventure, and this is the one that all comes back to data, but as well to the experience economy we are living right now in. And this is the emotional information on each product. And this transformation from simple technical data to usage information. Okay, let's say most of the companies know how to do that. But now coming from this usage information to the really to the real experience, to the emotional information. This is what is difficult. This is where we can't what we can't solve with manpower with technology. We need manpower for that. Coming back to the editor, to the marketing managers, and so if we help them to not need to copy and paste all day long anymore, but have a technology that supports them with this adventure 1 and 2, then they have enough time to be creative and to really create those emotional experiences.
What right now comes up in my mind as listening to you, because I found this very interesting, also these steps, but maybe I got you right or maybe not, but is there a possibility, or is that already the fact that, for example, your solution also works in reactions and feedback from the consumers themselves? You mean the emotional layer you mentioned is like the toothpaste. Let's pick that again. You have thousands of toothpaste, but you have maybe 2.4 million users of the one toothpaste that you are manufacturing. And if these 2.4 million give me information about attributes they think they are really, meaningful and for the brand or for the product, is this something you can vice versa put kind of fulfill that cycle, or is that kind of utopia?
No. It's that's the masterclass. That's what we call the PXM champion. If you're there, and we have some examples on the market. Let me name just Melvin Hamilton, a manufacturer of shoes, great shoes, by the way. They connected in their technologies in a way that they cycled back reasons for returns, for product returns. And with the cycling back of those reasons into the PIM system, the product managers can see how and where they need to adjust, enrich, and adopt their descriptions or even their attribute sets to reduce returns. And they did so with the width of the shoes. Like they can be very, very tight or not. And this was one of the main reasons for returns. And when they cycled that back in the PIM and the product managers adopted that in the data set of the products, the returns went down tremendously. So yes, if you really think of data and the power of data, and you're putting those dots all together, then yes, you become the experienced champion, just like you described.
That's great, and that's maybe another aspect of, you said you open source, but that might be in the mindset also open source, to be open for that. Normally you would say it's not a qualified opinion because everybody says what he wants to say about a product, but it's a matter of the amount of opinions and the amount of returns you receive, and then you can make something out of it, and that's a great thing. And that's also part of that whole platform spirit and this holistic thinking about a product cycle, and that's great. I come back to that after our second game, because I cannot wait any longer to to go on the speed lane with you. Okay. So, what do you think? Are you ready?
I'm a bit afraid, but let's do it.
Oh yeah, you should be. Again, it's like I picked 5 word pairs, being maybe in a private dimension, a business dimension, you will see, or both. And it's something like, to test this out, to practice, it's coffee or tea.
Coffee.
And you would say coffee. So that's it. And maybe there's something interesting thing we can talk about it. So, are you ready for the first one?
I am.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Oh, Why is that?
I'm a diver, scuba diver.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite diving spot?
That's very hard to answer, to be honest, but a very near and beautiful place is the Red Sea. Egypt,
Okay.
Red Sea, living corals, dolphins, everything you want.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everything you want or don't want, because I'm a major scared of sharks, so I'm never going to be a scuba diver. Although I mean, this world down below, that's fascinating me, but I cannot do this. If I see a shark, it just sink to the ground. Well, I know I don't sink to the ground, but I cannot do it.
I was seeking for it actually when we were in South America last year. I was even looking for the sharks to dive with them.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to get any deeper into that. Okay, ready for the second one?
Absolutely.
Autonomy or control?
Autonomy.
Okay.
I believe in creativeness and creativity. Sorry, I believe in collaboration and yeah, we're only strong together. So yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Control is the contrary of that.
Okay. The third one would be corporate or startup?
Startup.
Would you describe Akeneo as a startup?
In our heart, we still are. We're still like crazy and so on. We're pretty in a scale phase, so we're becoming more and more corporate with a global 200 people. But I definitely love the spirit and the childlike wonder and curiosity a startup has and follows. So definitely startup.
No, there's a childlike curiosity. There's nothing to add. I always go with that. The fourth one is, I've been waiting for this since I had the first video call with you, because the fourth one is Kindle or book?
A book.
Yeah, obviously. Everybody can see it. Okay, so you're a reader. And
yes, I mean that's behind me is a fake. That's just a wall print, unfortunately. But yes, I love reading and I love books. I tried this Kindle stuff, this e-reader stuff, but it has some benefits when you're on the beach and it's pretty windy or something. Definitely, but for me, nothing can compete against having a real hardcover.
Well, in case of diving, both are nothing you can use. So
true.
So the last one, and I'm very curious about that. The fifth and last one would be belief-driven or KPI-driven.
That's a tough one. At the end, belief-driven. If I'm not believing, any KPI wouldn't convince me to change my mind.
I mean, this is really a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need KPIs, of course, you need that, but I think the belief layer is something that makes a difference, maybe, in how to what you pull out of the KPIs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's fantastic. We know a lot more about you right now. Thank you, Toby, for this insight. I like that very much. So coming back to kind of the more business-related questions, or because I'm still thinking about that we talked about before, and you said something about simplicity and simple to use. I mean, everybody demands simplicity in the user experience, but we have this unbelievable complexity in data and the work stream and what to do. Would you describe your solution as, I mean, simple to use, like an iceberg, and it's simple to use, and there's a data groundwork underneath it that you won't even try to understand? Is it simple?
Yes. I think, we talked about belief. So here is something I believe. I believe that software can only bring its full value if the users love to work with it. Due to the big impact on easing their work and their tasks, or just in how to work with it, the user interface and the possibilities you have, the concept. However, such a piece of software, as you said, needs also to be able to manage a very complex and difficult, in the world of products, we call it terminology, such as you can find, for example, in the furniture industry with configurable products, or in the industrial supply industry where it's like crazy. There you can find products with more than 1,000 attributes related to each other. But even though this complexity needs to be served somehow, the difficulty is to have this layer above where the user still has this simplicity. And all of our customers mention the ease of use for business users, and which is highly valued. But it's not only nice to have, in my opinion, but it's also an element of a successful PIM project itself, like a digital project, where you need to get to first results very quickly. So I think the time is over for long-lasting waterfall projects where you invest like tons of money, and then after several years maybe you get a return on invest. Maybe world is moving too fast, so we take the approach together with our integrators that we say after 90 days you need to see the first value pinging back, and therefore you need an easy to manage software.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting aspect, that you connect quickness, in the process, and then on the market, time to online, etc., with the easy to use, because you can just use it. You can just do it, and you need onboarding half year for your tool. It has to be easy understandable. And that brings me to one of my last questions already. I could talk to you for hours, and I think we do, but because this is something that really brings me to that, because if you take a look into the future, and maybe that user experience and easy to use thing is something that pays into that idea or that vision. What scenario do you see in this kind of ideal digital world where everything comes together and all the tools work and they are easy to use? What do we still need to have that? And where are we already? What is the outlook?
Easy
that's one at the end.
a very easy one, easy listening, or also for the audience at the end. Well, I just want to underline what I already started to explain, that I think these times are crazy. Not only these times today and the past months of this year. I think also in the terms of globalization and digitalization, the times are crazy, running fast, and companies need to adopt super quick. So I think what is necessary is that we change our mind and become more open to agile approaches on decision taking on projects. Like really start embracing minimum viable projects and products. Try things and fail quickly. You need to get rid of this fear of failing. You have to try to fail to get better, and this is maybe the main idea behind it. And in terms of technology itself, where you and we are, I think we are on the bright side of life, where we understood this really specific problem solving part, and we have embedded this in our DNA. And I think this is where the world is going. I think nobody wants to have those monolithic, big, huge machines anymore that needs dozens of screws to be adjusted, but more like agile and less compromise. I mean,
I'm totally with you, because I tried to answer this question for myself a bit in preparation, and I think that mixture, or that coming together of that always improved tool set must be combined with the improving mindset, because if you say something like trial and error or trial and fail or whatever you call it, is something in Europe. I mean, not everybody thinks that way. There's in the US there's a different spirit about that, and it helps a lot to be quick and to learn quick and to know what to do better, and then to know maybe what you have to improve concerning a tool, or need another tool because that's something in my analysis that I need to do it faster, better, quicker, more secure, or whatever. So I think that's basically what I came up with as well, and it was a tough one, but I mean, I think it was a great answer. So
thanks. Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's cool that we have come to the same conclusion, but it wasn't nearly foreseeable, right? I mean, we could exchange on those topics for a long time, I guess, and we would most of the time we'll come to the same conclusion. And I think that's why we are where we are, and that we are in an industry that helps to get prepared for the future, like Tradebyte is and Akeneo is.
Yeah. That sounds very good at the end right now, because I'm now leaving the sector of business and future-oriented questions, coming back to number 3 of our pillars of the format, which is called Pick a Hero. And I'm so curious who you will bring in as somebody you will see on the channel in an interview or in whatever. And so tell me a name that I should address. Okay, so I think one topic that was following our whole conversation was the data. And there is one guy I know, and I really appreciate knowing him and having conversations with him. And this is Michael Fieck. Michael Fieck is the CEO of Parsinate, a consulting company based in Stuttgart. And he is definitely a hero when it comes to the topic of data management being the foundation of digitization. So I could imagine that this could be interesting in this format, to have someone like him, kind of 20 years in this field of data management, to give a bit more visibility on that, maybe. Oh my God, and that sounds great. I was a bit afraid talking to you as an expert about that. How about talking to somebody you think that's an expert? I mean, okay, yeah. But it's a great guest. I think I put him on my list, and try to contact him and see what he's thinking about. And having that said, Toby, I thank you so much. I think we went very deep, and it was a great conversation, great ride with you, like always. Now with viewers, that makes it even better. So thanks so much for being part of this, and let's do something. Let's do some more in the future. Super happy. Thanks for having me, Alex. Great format. Enjoyed the time here with you, even though the questions were sometimes not so easy, but yeah, great. Thanks a lot. That's good. I take that as a compliment. Thank you, Toby. Absolutely. See you. Bye. See you. Bye-bye. So everybody, thank you for being part of the first edition of ECD Live Talk with the great Tobias Schlotter from Akeneo, as I learned today, to pronounce it internationally. Finally, I just have to say that you please dial in next week again on the 11th of November when I come back with the ECD Live Talk and with my guest Martin Larisch from Goetz, and I'm very looking forward to talking with him. So goodbye, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time on ECD Live.